Hi everyone, so this is my analysis of fashion theory discussion. So the first one that I chose to do was the trickle-down theory. So it was created by George Simmel in 1904, and it is the idea that fashion occurs in the higher social groups and the lower status group imitates the fashion of the higher status. It is for the higher status group to differentiate from those who have imitated their fashions, and the differentiation are the main motives for like the new styles and the new looks and stuff. So it's basically just trying to like differentiate the lower and the higher status. But an example would be in 2018, Louis Vuitton walked the runway with the quote unquote dad sneakers, and after that, other brands like Nike and Fila began to like copy that, and it became a really big trend in 2020. Also, in the lower picture, I have from the movie The Devil Wears Prada. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. But anyway, there's a scene where Miranda Priestley, who's the woman in the picture, mocks her assistant for wearing this blue sweater because she like doesn't know what she's talking about, and she basically informs her where the blue sweater was like picked out by the room of the people that she was in, and she just basically Miranda Priestley just explains the whole trickle down theory in this like whole monologue. It's very interesting, and it's very cool of her to do that. So I have the monologue like listed up here, but you really can't read it that much. But it does explain like the whole idea of the trickle down theory. So the other one I did was the collective selection theory. So it was Herbert Blumer from like the 1960s who created this theory, and it is the idea that like social groups come to prefer the same idea, item, or style, and it is the idea of seeing fashion displayed in social norms like TV, celebs, magazines, movies, etc. People will copy it and apply it to their own wardrobe, is kind of the whole idea. And the reflection of who the person chooses to copy, per se, is a reflection of the personality / their character. So right here I have like a picture of the Y2K runway, and note that like the Y2K fashion, yes, like the low-rise jeans are coming back, the denim on denim is coming back, but in this picture specifically, like you can see like the rhinestoned or like the studded jeans and top are literally the same as the 2024 Paxson skirt and top that is advertised here. Like they're almost the exact same outfit, but in two different eras, you could say. Same with the Y2K runway butterfly top. When I actually researched this, I was kind of shocked. I didn't know that that's where the butterfly top came from, because I've seen it so much now that I thought it was like a new thing. But obviously I was wrong, because it is from the Y2K area. So like the other picture is just a 2024 picture from the Revolve website that they're selling it from. So these are brands selling, lower brands that are selling items of clothing. So from the module 1 reading connection, and relating back to like the first set of readings, I think what most comes to play is like the Eurocentrism and the elite fashion. Both the fashion theories I listed before related to the lower status copying the higher, and I think that is what happened in a lot of Western civilizations, thus creating the whole fashion industry. But in Module 1 readings, I'll also talk a lot about the way the elite dress was to distinguish them from the lower status. And that is how we see now when everyday people like us copy a celebrity, and they keep changing their fashion, and more styles keep getting created and created because these higher elite people are trying to differentiate themselves from us people. So they're just kind of like keep creating more and more things. That's why the style keeps changing. Or higher brands having knockoffs created by lower brands, and they're just copying them, and it just keeps going and going and going. So the discard theory is clothing that is like no longer in use, but it is repurposed and given like a new life. So like upcycling, but it's a lot of waste and overconsumption. But upcycling is a big thing here. It's just taking old clothes that like no one really wears anymore and giving it new life, changing it into something new. So I have a picture here of this woman who is wearing all this old denim, who probably stitched that together and made a new thing from like bins of just random clothes. So my example here is the aftermath of fast fashion. So fast fashion is just wasteful and not good quality, so it just gets thrown away really easily from people. And there's a quote from the source that I used it for this example, and it says that people with a higher income generates over 76% more clothing waste than people with lower incomes. And this just relates back to the elite or higher status starting trends, but want to be differentiated, and those trends keep getting picked up, and they're just going through too quickly. But clothing is the quality of the clothing that is sent from abroad is not good, and it usually gets directly thrown away into landfills. But brands like Shein, Forever 21, Temu, and Zoff contribute to this whole problem. So in this picture, I just have these kids picking out clothes from like a landfill, and this woman sitting on top of a bunch of clothes because like, at what cost are we getting these cheap clothes for? And trends just keep going too fast. So my next one is the dis- discard scraps of fashion. So in Cambodia, they burn garments waste and creates a cutoff to fashion, and it's not environmentally friendly, but most clothing/garment waste is sent to countries like Cambodia, where it is burned and creates a bad environment for people who live there. But trends are going, like I said before, through too fast, and it is creating more and more waste and just a bunch of excess of clothing that we don't need anymore. But in this picture, it's like a mom and her kids walking through, and it's just not a great place to live, and it's sad to look at. But my reflection is I really like learning about the discard theory because I definitely feel like it is very relevant in our world right now. I also particularly am interested in the trickle down theory because I see that every day, especially in the stores that are my favorite, like TJ Maxx. That is the definition of trickle down theory. These brands that have oversupply and send it to the department stores for cheap, and it's trying to reduce waste, and like that's like the whole concept. And anyway, this is my works cited. Thanks.